Welcome from my side. Hello. I had by far the longest trip here. Our office is the next building, so it was no code, 2 minutes walking, excellent for us. So I'm very happy to come back to you guys to talk about BMW CarData. As some of you might have known, that this is a live product. We announced it in Detroit roughly 5 months ago, and it was the brand new thing. And now, 5 months in the market in Europe, I'm here to present to you, to talk to you about what we've learned so far, how our market reception is, and what we plan to do next in BMW CarData. So out there you see some screenshots of the press coverage, which in our eyes was quite good after the launch in Europe and internationally. And we have a screenshot of the press statement there. A board member, Mr. Schwarzenbauer, presented it in Berlin. It's a very important thing for BMW Group, for BMW Connected Drive to open up. And yeah, let me dive into it a little bit. A short recap in the beginning. What is BMW CarData? So we developed and launched BMW CarData to be a new Connected Drive service. So it's integrated into the Connected Drive world, and it's free to our BMW Connected Drive customers. It comes as a free add-on, and it has 2 core features. You see them out there. And the first one, generating value to the customer, is data transparency. So we would like to present to our drivers what we store in our data centers regarding their car. So what kind of car-generated data is on our disks, and how is it all working? So the connected fleet out there, globally, we're talking about 7.5 million connected BMWs right now. They send, while connected drive services are executed, data to our data centers. And these data can now be accessed via the Connected Drive portal. The customer logs in and requests an archive. And within this archive, everything is nicely presented in an understandable way. So many customers don't know what condition-based service data is, for instance. So we explain it in a nice way. And the customer, all free of charge, can see what we have in our data centers. This is basically the same stuff he sees in our connected app. So when pulling out the app and remote controlling his car and so on, it's pretty much the same he sees in there. The second thing, and that's the bigger thing and the more interesting thing in our eyes, is the B2B interface. So for the first time, we came up with a new API. We call it the BMW CarData API and REST API. And via this interface, third parties can register, connect, and actually pull the telematics data off our data centers. If and only if the driver said OK. So the driver, the BMW driver, is in the driver's seat. And how does it work? Well, you, as a third party, register in BMW Group's after-sales online services portal. Just Google it up, connect yourself, you implement Versus and state-of-the-art API, and then you're free to request customer consent, meaning you have to explain the BMW driver what kind of data you would like to pull and what the value for the car driver would be. And if you convince the driver and he green lights your request, then you can come up with new data-driven services. This is all integrated, as I said, in the after-sales online services world, and we have a brand new CarData API. The value we think we produce for the driver is data transparency on the first hand, and the ability to make use of third-party data-driven services out there. And I would like to show you in the next slide what has to be done from a third-party perspective in order to take part of all of this. So let's talk about a non-existing company called Wash Where Parked. That will be the new data-driven service. And this company needs the GPS position of the parked car. And the service to the BMW driver would be exterior cleaning where the car actually is parked. And as a result, the BMW driver can use a new service that was not possible before, because a third party knows the exact position of the car. And these guys from Washburn Park, what would they supposed to be, what should they do now in order to make use of the service, to get the GPS position? First of all, we invite them to register at BMW CarData in our portal. This is a free process. There is no registration fee. And we accept every corporation from the European Union. So we do not discriminate. Every corporation is allowed and invited to register and to connect versus our API. In the next step, the third party defines a so-called data container. That pretty much is the use case. I need GPS position. For instance, if I'm an insurance, I need mileage, and so on. Just think about all the possible use cases out there. You bundle the data you need in a container, and then you ask customer consent to be able to pull these data of BMW servers. This is where we inform our Connected Drive customers. We invite them to log on to the Connected Drive portal, and we present them your data request. We tell them there's a company called Wash Where Parked. They want to offer you a car wash service, and this is why they need your car position. Are they allowed to access your car position? Customer says yes or no in our portal, and if granted, we push out this information to Wash Where Parked, and then Wash Where Parked can pull the data of our service. This is the process chain. Quite simple. Complexity is shifted to the third party. Well, if you can talk about complexity here, and it's super easy to the customer. The customer can say yes, can say no, or can just ignore it if he was never in touch with the third party. To walk you through all this, again, in a little bit condensed way, we have a short video, a 2-minute video, and I'd like to run the video now, please.
BMW Group vehicles offer outstanding connectivity. While executing BMW Connected Drive services, various car-generated data is shared with BMW servers via a built-in SIM card. To enable innovative networked services for our customers, you're able to request these data off BMW servers. BMW CarData provides you with the most recent values of the data stored. All you need is approval of the BMW customer possessing the car. BMW CarData's pricing model with fixed cost variables and monthly cost limits serves as a perfect basis for the development of new connected business models. With BMW CarData's API interface, you are, for example, able to access the current mileage, service requirements, or the general status of a BMW vehicle. Are you interested in using BMW CarData? Please register at aos.bmwgroup.com. Selecting the Applications option in the main menu will take you to BMW CarData. Please set up BMW CarData and complete the technical configuration. This way, you connect your system to the BMW CarData platform. The data container you define next will describe the service for which you will be requiring data from BMW vehicles. This allows you to specify the exact vehicle data you want to access. In addition, you explain to the customers the value they are receiving by granting you access to the data. Now you request customer consent for a specific vehicle by providing the vehicle identification number at the BMW CarData interface. If granted, data transmission can take place. This way, BMW CarData provides you with the opportunity to use vehicle data from connected BMWs to develop new services and business models. BMW Connected Drive. So connected, you're free.
Yeah, an all-digital process, no manual steps involved, despite the one check we do if you really are a corporation while you register. And then it's all scalable, web-based. You define your use cases in the portal, you register in the portal, and once all this is done, you pull data via an API. So how are we doing since launch? We launched on May 30th in Europe. So a big bang launch, we made this service available for all European third-party customers and launched the end customer dimension in Germany only. So beginning at launch day, you were able to access data of German cars. That changed in the last 5 months, so we are live in Austria now. And today we launched BMW CarData customer dimension in Netherlands, France, Belgium, and Luxembourg. And we definitely want to bring it all out to Europe. So far, we have 50 registered corporate third parties on the platform. Actually, it's more than 60 now, because I made these slides 3 weeks ago. And they pretty much come from all over the European Union. As you can see in the screenshot over there, the news spread quite everywhere, and we're happy about this. So far, we have more than 40 data-driven third-party use cases that are in development and are being tested. So there is no real product launched out there yet, as far as we know, based on CarData, but many players test it and have BMWs, they pull data. And the quite impressive number down there actually already exceeded 1 million. So until today, we have provided more than 1 million data sets for cars, for connected BMWs. And the thing is growing. So every graph we have points upwards. And as I said before, we invest in rolling it out that you can access as many cars as we have in Europe that are connected. What's next? What do we invest? European rollout is the #1 priority right now. So by end of next year, we want to be live in every European connected drive market so that you, as a third party, can access all European connected BMWs. We have a project going on to bring everything to the United States. Heini and myself, we presented this to you in Detroit. This will come at the end of next year. A couple of challenges to solve, because in the US, everything is mirrored, everything has to be done again out there. We definitely want to bring the connected minis in the platform, so we're working on mini car data, that you can come up with services for mini as well. This will be integrated in the same platform, so you can use the one interface to access all cars of the BMW group. And in my eyes, the most important thing is we invest in new features. So we want to enrich the product substance. As of now, you can access the latest data we have in our data centers of a connected BMW. And beginning next year, we would like to provide data series. So if you need data over time, we will be able to provide you this. And many more things. So the backlog is growing and growing, and we have lots of ideas that we want to invest here. Yeah, that was pretty much it. A short wrap-up of where we are right now. And I, last but not least, very happy to invite you all to register for BMW CarData because it's free. Just check it out.
Sorry, I was a bit over-enthusiastic there.
That's fine. OK, happy to take some questions if we have time, any.
Well, you have about 1 million questions, actually. So just a disclaimer, guys. So I've got them all here, and I'll try and archive them as they come so that we can get through as many as possible. But if I don't get to your question, I'm sorry. Let's start with the most upvoted. You mentioned if BMW driver approved consent sharing of data, is car data specific to a car or even on driver level? Whose question was that? I think they've gone.
A very good question. So as of now, it's specific to a car. But to a car, only one end customer account can be connected. So basically, it's a one-to-one relationship, but it's per car. Yeah.
Great, thank you. So, oh, did I just delete one? No, it moved up. Is this B2B service free of charge for the third-party provider?
No, it's not. So registration is free. Support, everything is free. Just log on, snook around, get informed, everything free. But once you pull data, we pay or we charge you for the actual provision of data. It's in the sense, it's very fair. If you just need, for instance, a position once a month or mileage once a year, you pay pretty much nothing. But if you are a third party that pulls a lot of data and you need it a lot, you pay more. We have a price ceiling. So per use case and car, currently the model is €5 max per month. And this is how we think we are able to support even large volume data-driven use cases.
Great, thank you. I think, oh no, it's been moved up. How do you ensure that a temporary user of the car doesn't acquire long-term control over the data generated by the car?
Very good question. So the approach here is that as soon as you are with your account connected to the car, you can remote control the car. So this account is in charge of providing data to a third party. If you sell your car, if a new user connects to the car, then everything will be terminated. There is a one-button reset functionality. There is a one-button delete everything functionality, but in charge is the connected drive driver, the connected drive user whose account is mapped to the car.
Thank you. You may have answered part of this one already. What business model do you offer to a third party?
Yeah, well, the business model is up to you. We provide the data. There is an interface where you can pull data off our service if you have end customer consent to do so. And then it's up to you what you come up with. We made up this one example with wash where parked, but it's like the App Store. The interesting things are being developed right now.
Thank you. So how do you convince the driver to share data with third parties? What's the added value for them?
I think here the answer is pretty much the same. It's up to you. If you come up with an interesting data-driven service the driver really wants to use, they will allow you to access the data. If it's a pay-as-you-drive use case where the customer doesn't have to fill in the mileage he will drive next year, but if this will be just pulled off our service, then there's a value for the customer. If the car is washed where it's parked currently, if this might be possible after all, then there's a value for the customer. So you have to generate services based on car data that produce value, and then the customer most likely will allow you to access the data.
Thank you. So I imagine this represents a few people here. I'm slightly rephrasing it. If I'm an independent service provider, I'm describing my service to you, what is to stop BMW from copying my service and offering it to drivers directly? What is the protection there?
Good question. Actually, you can't stop us doing it. But BMW is a huge company. We don't move super fast, as you can imagine. So if you are an innovative, fast company, you definitely will be first. But of course, we might adopt business models, business ideas. It's a good point. Yeah, this is an open risk here.
Thanks. I think you had 8 people asking that one. Are all the services location-based?
Well, the services are the things you will develop. We have location data in our data offering. So GPS position, heading, altitude of the car is all in there. And if you would like to come up with services based on the location, convince the customer that he grants you access, and then you can do so. Yes, so a clear yes, location-based data is in there.
Thank you. Do you have partnerships with any insurers to automatically share data to them for UBI?
No. So currently there is, as far as I know, no partnership. We have, among these 50 players being connected to CarData, we have a lot of insurance companies, but they will only get data if the end customer actually allows them to access the data. So the driver, the BMW connected drive user, is in the driver's seat. Without his consent, nothing will happen. But partnerships so far, no.
Thanks. And I think our final question is around the cost of the connectivity. So who pays the connectivity cost when third-party service providers communicate with the car? The owner, BMW, the partner?
So right now, all the SIM cards we build in our cars, the costs are covered by BMW. But as far as you can access data via this API, and we charge you cents for accessing this data, you kind of pay for the data costs as well. And this is basically what we charge you. It's not super expensive. We think it's quite cheap to access the data. And we charge you by this for the data transport costs, for server costs, for support costs, portal costs, and all this.